Hey, Reynolda Church. My name is Barrett Johnson. I serve as our campus pastor at the Union Cross campus. As you've been hearing over the last couple of weeks, it has been a year full of surprising stories that God has been writing in and through our church. As you know, our mission statement is love God, love each other, and love the world. We do those last two pieces primarily through community groups and serve groups. And as we look from infant to adult, I am so overwhelmed, so excited about the new relationships, the surprising amount of new relationships that are happening in our people's lives from infant to adult. Take, for example, children's ministries. On an average Sunday, we're having 150 children gathering on Sundays to hear about Jesus, how He's the center of every story. He's the center, indeed, of the entire biblical narrative. What's more, this past summer, across our two campuses, the Village and Union Cross campus, we had 250 kids come out, hear about Jesus at our vacation Bible schools. Then moving up, our 6th through 12th graders in our student ministries, they have 75 students gathering on Sundays, hearing about the story and work of Jesus and how they can follow Him by faith. That is outstanding. And then move on to our adults. This is a year, 2016, where we saw 600 of our adults connected to community groups, a focus on Bible study, prayer, and fellowship. What's more, 450 adults connected to our serve groups. Serve groups connect our volunteer resources so that you and I can share the gospel in our local campuses, in our cities, throughout the nation and around the world. It sure has been a year full of surprising stories in 2016. Here are some of the stories.
Picture this. You're packing up your house to move across town. It is a stressful time with lots to be done, and a friend from your community group comes to help. In the midst of helping, they are actually injured and have to go to the emergency room. No sooner do they get to the ER than 2 other group members are there to care for them. What kind of group responds this willingly to each other's needs?
Picture this. It starts like any other missions trip. 16 of us boarded the bus in the wee hours of the morning for our 7 a.m. flight out of Raleigh to Montego Bay. 2 years prior to our departure, Alan received a request for help from a dear friend running a Christian preschool in a very poor community in Jamaica. We were a youth group with 14 of us under 20, several never having left America before. We started our work in the midst of chaos with the first week painting, cleaning, and preparing the school and playground for VBS. The next week was a week filled with work, play, grace, and compassion as we connected with the children through VBS. John, a member of our team, had many questions about God, which none of us could satisfy. One night in deep prayer, God brought John answers to his questions. John asked, "God, what is love?" God showed John that during the day, a young boy had come to John looking for attention. John was talking on the phone with his mother, but instead of pushing the young boy away, John said, "Hey, do you want to talk to my mom?" John then let the boy play on his electronic game. John spent a good deal of time with that young boy. God then said to John, "That is love."
Picture this. You've grown up in Medellin, Colombia, where you served alongside Reynolda-supported missionary Bill Perot. Having finished your education, you were given a tremendous opportunity to visit the United States for an extended stay. Not only does a Reynolda family open their home for you to live with them, but a newly formed community group for people in their 20s and 30s warmly welcomes you into their fellowship. What kind of group instinctively welcomes the newcomer?
Now picture this. You've just lost your mother after orienting your life around her care for year after year after year. Not only that, you've sacrificed your career to look after her. Now you find yourself both grieving her passing and facing more financial questions than answers. That's when your community group steps in with groceries, transportation, financial help, friendship, presence, and prayer. What kind of group freely cares for each other in crisis?
These are just some of the stories, surprising stories of God's faithfulness that He brought about at Reynolda Church in 2016. He did so because of your generous giving. They're stories of new relationships through community and serve groups. And so as you consider your year-end giving this year, we invite you to dream together with us about what type of stories God might write in the year to come.